Arsenal 1, Chelsea 2, 4-2 on aggregate, and off to Wembley we go. Unbelievable. That was, I must say, that was an unbelievably boring performance. But it was practical. And that's all I care about, is getting the practical results. Who cares about entertainment when we can get an opportunity to go to Wembley? And we've now got our opportunity to go to Wembley, probably against Man City. But we got to be there to win it. And this is a great opportunity for us to finally win our first piece of silverware. It's been so long that the idea of getting to a final, it's really stuck out now. But I'm curious to see how this Arsenal team responds in a final. And I say that because, well, this Arsenal team, I don't recall them ever being in a final. Of course, they made it to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and we just didn't have the firepower to beat PSG. But I can't be too harsh on them. It was a boring performance, don't get me wrong, but it was practical. We didn't need the win today, they needed the win. And Kai Havertz getting that goal as well, that is the cherry on top of the cake. Unbelievable. It had to be him. It had to be him. That man absolutely despises Chelsea with all passion right now. And you saw him when he was celebrating, pointing at the badge. And I'm so happy to see stuff like that. And it's something that I want to see much more often. Absolute loyalty to the club. And I do genuinely believe that Kai Havertz is loving life at Arsenal right now. I believe the vast majority of Arsenal players love their life at Arsenal. But that's why I say it's important to start winning them trophies. They start winning trophies, they're going to want to stay a lot longer. Otherwise, they're going to have to think about their career and ultimately move on. And we don't want that. Especially with the likes of Kai Havertz and the likes of everyone in this whole team. We need to start winning stuff for them. And this piece of silverware, a lot of people are going to say it's a Mickey Mouse club. It's funny how it's only a Mickey Mouse club when they're not the ones that are involved in it. But the second that they're involved with it, it's not a Mickey Mouse club. And I've always said, the Carabao Cup is the least important out of the 4 potential major honours to win. But it is still a big opportunity for Arsenal to win an honour. And if and when we can do something like that, I think this team will just get that confidence boost that we've needed for so long to get something over the line. And who knows? I wouldn't count my eggs just yet, but who knows? Maybe a quadruple's on the line. We're still in prime opportunity for all 4 competitions. 6 points clear in the league. We finished top of the league in the Champions League. We're in the 4th round of the FA Cup. And of course, we're in the final of the Carabao Cup. But it was interesting to look at these stats. I didn't even think about it at first, but looking at them, we had 44% possession compared to Chelsea's 56. We had 5 shots compared to their 14. 2 shots on target compared to their 2. 1 big chance missed compared to their 1 big chance missed. We had 2 corners, they had 5. We had 347 accurate passes compared to their 458. We had a passing accuracy of 84.8 compared to Chelsea's 89.6. And of course, Chelsea had 3 yellow cards and we had none. Cucurella also should have been booked as well after kicking the ball away, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And these stats tell you one thing. They tell you that Chelsea were the ones that were desperate to score. They tell you that Chelsea were looking for ways, and Arsenal shut that down. I am getting a bit concerned on how we're not closing down in the middle. You saw Chelsea take a few shots from outside the box. We're fortunate it was nowhere near the goal. But we do need to learn to start closing those opportunities down. Otherwise, better teams will start scoring those. But the fact that you look back at how it was, at the last possible minute, Chelsea's desperate, and you can see that desperation. You can see how many people they committed forward. And the second we got the ball, and we broke, and we played fast football, we had 2 players Kai Havertz was one. I'm not sure who the other one was. Maybe it was Trossard. We had two players in the middle, right on the semicircle, sorry, of the penalty box. It was an easy pass to them, and it was basically 2-on-1 versus the goalkeeper. We had to score it, and Chelsea gave us that opportunity from their desperation, and that's what can happen in these kind of situations, especially when you're desperate. As much as you want to get a goal, it can just as easily backfire and completely ruin your hopes. But I do think it will be different come the Premier League match. The Premier League match, I think we will go out and we will try to win. And it is important that we win. We have to go out, we have to get the job done, and we have to just put Chelsea to the sword. Today was a pragmatic win. But next time, I think we're going to go out for them. But anyways, let me get the player teams. Let me get the team sheet out, sorry. And here we go. Okay, well, let's get into the player ratings, and starting off, Kepa. I thought Kepa made a few mistakes. He passed into some questionable areas. He gave up the ball outside the player area, sorry. Sometimes it was quite cheap. Sometimes I thought he could have done a bit better. He did scare me quite a lot. He did look quite shaken. However, overall, it was not a terrible performance from Kepa. I will give him a 6.5. Timber. I will say this now, Timber. Chelsea fans were talking about Reece James and him coming back. And I didn't notice him anywhere. He wasn't on the pitch, and he wasn't on the he wasn't on the bench either. So what's going on there? But anyways, Timber, he had a game, to be fair. I thought he played quite well. I thought our defence in general played really well. Again, as I say, most of our defenders were giving away the ball a little bit cheaply. However, we did our job, and that is the main thing. And Timber was part of that. Overall, a very strong, very happy performance from Timber. He looked quite dangerous going forward, I think. I'll give Timber a 7. Saliba, stone wall. I'm also giving him a 7. Gabriel, our wall at the back. And I thought Gabriel was just every bit as good as Saliba. I'm also giving him a 7. Hincapié, that's a very strong performance. I can't think of too much he did wrong there. Nothing else to really say. I'm giving him a 7 as well. Zubimendi, as I said, this recovery that he's had from that absolute scandal at the Man United game, and he's made a bit of a recovery as things stand right now. I don't think Zubimendi's had a bad game since. Zubimendi, I will give a 7. Declan Rice, I thought he had a brilliant game. That assist alone that he got was absolutely phenomenal to just be in that position, let alone get the ball across. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it was a difficult ball to get across. He was basically completely open. All he had to do was get it, which is just the English, please. All he had to do was just not put it right in front of the Chelsea player, who wasn't even looking at them at the time. It was a really easy pass for him, but take nothing away from the assist, take nothing away from the goal. Declan Rice, I am giving an 8, and he is my man of the match. Brilliant overall performance. Eze, a little bit disappointing, but nothing terrible. I thought maybe he could have done better in certain areas, but I'll hold back too much criticism. I'm giving Eze a 7. Madueke, he looked a little bit, well, I wouldn't say terrible. I thought he did look quite solid, but maybe on occasion he could have done that little bit better. But still, I've got little to complain about. He did come off, but I thought he was overall having a good game. I will give him a 6.5. Gyökeres, I thought Gyökeres' ball control for the vast majority of it was quite good. Obviously, he didn't get a goal, and of course, it's frustrating when your striker doesn't get a goal. But he still holds on to the ball quite well today, I think. And overall, I think it was a decent performance from him. Maybe on occasion it could do a bit better, but I'm not going to complain. 6.5. And Martinelli, I'm also giving him a 6.5. Very, well, I wouldn't say convincing performance, but he did his job, and that is all that I care about. Mikel Arteta, I am going to give Mikel Arteta a 10. I think he got everything right today. Even if I was getting a bit worried that we were going to fall into a really terrible defensive habit again, the reality is the game didn't need to be entertaining. It just needed to be pragmatic. And Arteta, he knew what he had to do. Get that pragmatic draw over the line, win if you can. And that's what happened. We ended up getting a win in the last possible minute. Referee, I thought the referee gave away a lot of free kicks very cheaply, I think. And I'll say that for both sides. I think the referee was just giving it at the time. He was giving it whenever it was called for. He only started showing a little bit of backbone after the first like hour or so of football. That being said, there was a penalty decision. I couldn't see it in full time, so I don't know if it was a penalty decision, but I'm not going to be too harsh on that. I'm just aware that that decision existed. And of course, the fans. The fans were everywhere. I remember I saw the Chelsea fans coming over the bridge, and they were singing "No Noise from the Arsenal Boys." I was coming out of the game, and Arsenal fans singing "No Noise from the Chelsea Boys." But look, the Arsenal fans were getting behind the Arsenal players, and that's all we really needed to do. And of course, again, everyone would have took a draw, but the second that goal went in, it was mayhem. Arsenal fans, as per usual, are getting a 10. But anyways, that is my match review. Let me know what you think down below. Like, share, and comment, and please do subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I will see you for the match preview of Arsenal versus Sunderland. Goodbye for now.